Hi guys, it's Sherry Gets Sleeve 2016 coming back at you finally with my VSG update. I had surgery July 11th, 2016 at Somerville Medical Center with Dr. Neil McDevitt at Coastal Carolina Bariatric Center. My beginning weight, my highest weight was 277 pounds. The day of surgery, I weighed 255 pounds, and today, July 24th, I weighed 240 pounds. So I'm pretty pleased with my progress so far. I've lost around a pound a day, maybe a little bit more, and can't be mad at that. Let's see. My surgery went great. I had a good experience. Everything went, I guess kind of textbook. And whenever I got to the hospital, they did blood work. They did, got my IV hooked up and everything. Got me all prepped for surgery, and then allowed my family to come back and be with me until the anesthesiologist came to take me into the OR. So I woke up just a couple of hours later and felt a little sore. I could tell my tummy was really blown up, but hey, that's how they do the surgery. So it was no big deal. And then I spent one night in the hospital. My only complaint about the hospital was that I was hot. It was so hot whenever I woke up. Now, other people in the family have said that, no, it was pretty comfortable in there to me, but my sister-in-law was gracious enough to bring me a fan, and all of the staff kept hanging out in my room because it was the coolest room in the hospital. So, but my doctor was great, and everything went wonderful. After I woke up from surgery, I'm sorry, I've got notes, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. After surgery, I was taken up to my room, and I was allowed to get out of bed. And just in case you didn't know, you're going to have a catheter whenever you wake up. And those are no fun, but you do what you got to do. You get up out of bed, and along with your catheter bag and your IV, and you just start strolling down around the hospital. My doctor's rules are you have to do an entire lap, and then at the end of it you stop by the nurse's station and you get your little measuring cup of water, your medicine cup of water. And you do that once every hour. And basically what was happening with me, because I was on a morphine drip and pretty much out of it, I was taking my lap, coming back to my bed, falling asleep. I would say hello to guests as they would come in, but pretty much I would sleep and then wake up every hour to go walk and get my little sip of water. And when I woke up from surgery, and for the first couple of days, maybe 3 days after surgery, every time I drank, it was, you have to take little teeny tiny small little sips of water. And what happens if you don't, if you forget, you feel discomfort. It's not an excruciating pain, but it's not comfortable. And so you just have to do it as you can, and just take your time drinking. Whenever I got home, I was discharged the next day on the 12th, and whenever I got home, I did pretty good during the day, and then that night the gas pains hit me, and I walked the floor all night long. All night long I was walking, and I started taking gas strips that melt on your tongue that night. And yeah, it wasn't pleasant, but I made it through it. That was a night, how you hear everyone talk about buyer's remorse. That was a night I could say, I thought, what did you do? But because I've had a laparoscopic hysterectomy before, I kind of expected it, the gas pains and everything, and so I was able to deal with it a little bit better. I didn't wake my husband. My sister-in-law and her children are staying here helping me out, and I didn't wake anybody up. I just walked up and down the hallway all night long, and my poor dog didn't know what to think, but we made it through it. The restriction is the reason why you can only drink tiny, tiny little sips, is because you are so tight. Everything is so tight and swollen, because they just did a lot of work down in your body. So, you know, you just have to take it slow and easy. And as the days went on, I found that my stomach would cramp a little bit if something was too cold. So I started doing, you know, and I've heard this in other YouTube videos, and so I said, well, you know, we'll do it lukewarm or room temperature, and let's see how that helps. And it helped a lot. So, you know, if you're going through this, just take your time. Day by day, you're going to get better. Day 3, I think, was my turning point, and I felt so much better. After day 1 and day 2 were in the books, day 3, I felt like a human being again. I was able to take a little bit larger sips. It didn't hurt, and everything went well. So that was that. My theory is, if you can make it through the first 3 days, you're going to make it. Everything's going to be great. Another thing that happened to me, now I'm a person who has a condition called UCTD, which gives me the symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. And so whenever I woke up my first night at home, my body felt normal, but both of my hands, my wrists, my arms, everything was so swollen and felt feverish. It was the weirdest thing. And I was going to call the doctor's office whenever, you know, because this was like 3 o'clock in the morning whenever I'm dealing with this, and I was going to call the doctor's office when they opened, but by the time they opened, the swelling had already started to go down. I started going to the bathroom a lot and getting rid of some excess water, and that gas was beginning to subside a good bit. So everything just started coming back to normal. And the way my doctor described it was, because he called me actually at 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning. He called me and said, you know, just checking on you, making sure everything's okay. And I told him about what I had experienced, and he said, well, Sherry, what happens is when the body goes into surgery, it thinks, oh my gosh, we're going to die. And so it begins to hold on to everything that it can hold on to, including fluid, including the gas, including your blood supply, everything that it can, it will hold on to it. And so the body swells. And he said after a few days, once the body realizes, oh, okay, we've survived this now, then it begins to release all of those things so that you can begin the healing process. So yeah, it's pretty cool how God created the body. It works. On day 4, I felt great. I actually went shopping with my sister-in-law and my nieces, and we got some book bags, which I think you might have seen the previous video. And I did get overheated, and I had my first meltdown that night whenever I got home with my husband. The meltdown was actually about the fact that I was overheated. After we went shopping, we picked up Chick-fil-A for everyone, and I love some Chick-fil-A. And I was fine as long as we were in the car. I held the bags full of Chick-fil-A, and I was fine with it. I didn't want it. I was good. It smelled great, but, you know, no big deal. By the time we got to the house, I was overheated. I was exhausted. My shake had gotten too warm, and so the more I tried to sip on that, the more curdled it just felt, and so I felt sick. And then I was able to get some Powerade Zero and get that in, and I felt better. But in the meantime, everyone around me was eating all this delicious food. And the thing about VSG is it's going to take away every option that you have. You no longer have an option to cheat. Whenever I was on Weight Watchers, if I wanted to cheat, I could cheat. If I was on 21-day fix and I wanted to cheat, I could cheat. Whatever it was, whatever diet I've ever been on, if I wanted to cheat, I could cheat. Even on Ally, I would just stay home if I wanted something greasy because I knew what was coming. But with VSG, you have no option. You eat during those first 2 weeks after surgery, you die. Plain and simple. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no, well, you could have, no, you can't have any of that stuff. You cannot have one bite of that chicken sandwich and be satisfied. You can't have one waffle fry and think everything's going to be okay. It's not going to. If you cheat, you die. And so many people have told me about, their friends or family members or a friend, my sister's cousin's brother's uncle that died after having bariatric surgery. It's because they cheated, and I don't want to be a statistic. I want to be in the number of people that are successful and live longer. I had this surgery not so that I could be some kind of, bikini model, because God knows those days are long gone, and when I could wear a bikini, I didn't care to. That's not me. I had this surgery so that I could be healthy and live a long time and be able to function until the day I pass away. I don't want to live in pain every day of my life like I was. And so that's my whole purpose for doing this, is to live long and live healthy. And there is no way I'm going to cheat and cause myself to have some complications, because my doctor said, you eat, you die. Before you can get to a hospital, it'll be too late. So there's no point in that. So VSG will take away your options. If you're not 100% committed to it, then you better wait a little while. And that night, my husband and I had the talk, and because he could tell I was really frustrated, and I said, well, and it's nobody's fault. I'm not mad at anybody who eats normal food around me. I want people to eat normal food because this is my new life, and I have to adjust to that. This was no one's decision but mine. I chose to do this, and so I am going to have to live with it. So I don't want anyone to change. I don't want anyone to feel guilty. It's all good. So, he and I talked about it, and we were discussing a lot of things, and how, I know people that have considered this, and I'm just saying, if you consider it, have a good support team, have a good support system behind you that will help you through this, because there's no way you can do it without some good support. So I cried because I was hungry. I cried because I wanted the food. I cried because I couldn't cheat. I cried because this was my choice. And, in the end, I'm happy because I made it through another day. And last night, I ordered my family pizza, and I went and picked it up, and I brought it home, and I served it, and I'm fine with that because this is the right choice for me. So it gets better. A few things that you need to make sure of: do not get hydrated or dehydrated. Don't get dehydrated, because it's going to cause you a lot of issues, which is one of the reasons why I had the breakdown. Let's see. Yeah, so since day 4, I've pretty much lived a normal life. My clothes are falling off of me. I'm able to get in. I was a size 24 in the beginning of this. I'm now getting into my size 20s, and I was able to put on a size 18 today, but it was really tight, and I was like, no, we're not going to do this. So, we'll take baby steps, and it'll be one step at a time, and everything will be great. And if this is your first video, I hope that you'll watch my previous videos, and I hope that this helps somebody that's going through this same process. It is a journey, and I'm so happy and thrilled that I've made this choice, and I'm very happy to be on this journey, and I'm happy to share this with you. My cousin's wife had this surgery a little over a year ago now, and she looks absolutely amazing. And knowing someone personally that has gone through this and been so successful has really kept me encouraged. And her kind words and just, the little texts that she'll send me here and there have let me know that, I've got family all over the place that are supporting me. So it's good to have that. And if you have any questions or comments, please make sure that you send those, type those below, and I will answer them as quickly as possible. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and That way you can keep up with my journey, and I will be more diligent about getting videos out. It's just hard to find a moment so to get everything done. But anyway, so it's going good. Everything's great. I go to the doctor for my 2-week checkup on Wednesday, so I'll probably have an update after that with everything that he says. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sharing this journey with me, and I will talk to you guys soon.